The end is coming to the world, and everything else. There's short of breath and death to this zone. Better take care. He who half breathes, half lives. So little alive here. That's the leftover you're looking for. Don't look down. Feels dank down below the dirt. That paid off. look good in that. You're too low on scrap. Let's see what you can make. Think of all the things you can cut with this. Looks like the switches need to be turned to match so enough charge can flow through the conductors. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Ready to roll? The day is calling. What doesn't kill you? He says that's enough to get the Mekton functional. You'll have an engine, a fuel soaker, a gun, and a gathering net, but no armor, nor enough oxygen supply. He made a suction device so the Mekton can use the black tar as an instant refuel. You can also use it to clear oily goo puddles, so you can pass and access hard-to-get-to areas. He's been working on another project for the Mekton, a cannon, but it needs ammunition, and by that he means the scripts. He says if they're trained right, they'll turn into a distraction for the Jumbo Puff. The best way to find scripts is to go talk to Moog. He knows the ins and outs of every breathing thing left alive after the apocalypse. Unfortunately, this means you'll have to venture farther out into the dead zone than Moog's camp on the steep depot. Once you find Moog, he'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find Scripps. Gizmo thinks he's a little peculiar, but very knowledgeable. He has the ins and outs of all monster and creature whereabouts. Gulp in some air. The grease monkey's Mekton is built sturdy, just like himself. Can you imagine how this place used to look before the dead oil flood? Might want to hold your breath before you head any further. You're about to witness the breathtaking vistas of what's known as the Dead Zone. In the old world, roads like this really led somewhere. Now, most of them lead to disaster. Take matters back into your own hands. That over there is Steepo Depot, the cliffside that Moog hangs on to. Thank whoever left this climb stringer here. This one's impressed to see you out here. He figured you'd be dead by now. Not many are as tough and clever as you must be. Claims he goes after the most dangerous game, huge monsters. Moog says that all your power doesn't do you a bit of good if you're not willing to pull the trigger when the time comes. Choosing what to kill and what to spare are the most important decisions you'll make. You might have a steady aim, but you need to be sure that you pick your targets with care. It's hard to make those life or death decisions for others, but someone's got to do it. Otherwise, they'll do it themselves, and you know they'll miss. When it comes to monsters, he mostly picks who dies. Says it's wild that the world seems to be coming back, but he supposes that means more monsters for him to shoot. Wonders why you work so hard to keep things alive. Bullets help thin the herd instead. Says you should give up on working with the stubborn myriad. He keeps trying to put out their lights and they keep putting up new ones. Says they keep the monsters away. He needs them closer, not farther. But enough of that, right? He says the wildlife, nature, has changed and turned against us. Instincts of survival took over when the world changed. He's not sure about their veggie diet anymore, and if it's changed, who knows what it's done with the chemical composition of their body output. Right now, though, he feels he's come to a point where he's got a pretty clear idea on the whereabouts of monsters, both tall and short. Says as big as they are, the world is bigger. To find where they are, you need to see where they've been. Moog says you must learn to walk before you can run. It takes practice before you can call yourself a monster hunter. Fortunately for you, he can help. He understands you need to start off with something small before you go big. There's no better place to start than a scrip cave. Hunting down a couple of these little critters for yourself should keep you on your toes. Says it's not far at all. Fortunately for you, the scripts seem to have acclimatized themselves to the otherwise uninhabitable dead zone. Let's see. Smell that burning fuel. Pace yourself. Wait, it's the scrip hole-up. Place is just filled with critters. Took care of it. Someone locked it solid. Once the volatilization from the nuclear waste evaporated, a volatile gas rose through the soil and infested structures, even Toxanol's own buildings. So, in a way, they caused their own death. It's time for an adventure, for good or bad. Oh, idea. Go knock the lid off that sludge truck. It'll fill the place up and you can get up to that entrance there. Look at that thing. Just what you were looking for. You need to line up the switches so they match. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Be careful not to trip. Crack open that tin can and escape. He says that's enough scripts to sustain the Mekton's claw crane cannon with infinite ammunition. Well done. It's not his cleanest invention so far, but it gets the job done. Use it to suck up gooey oil puddles in the Mekton's way. Gizmo's made vehicles before to confront the Jumbo Puff himself, but failed. But this time, it's different. The Mekton will be strong enough to do the job. It's time to put a stop to the World Eater now. Otherwise, he fears the damage it's caused to the tree already will be too much to handle. There's time to improve the Mekton before you confront the Puff. There are more wreck boxes out in the dead zone with gear you should be able to equip the Mekton with on your own. He got the idea to build the Mekton when he found a big crate containing the metal frame for something Toxanol had named an exoskeleton. Gizmo wants to help if he can. You should go meet Goop. He's over in Subnautica Station. We've been warned about the state of the tree. Hopefully it's not too late. We'll be around when you return. Gizmo wants to help if he can. Thinks the Jagni tribe has the most dedicated members. Wouldn't be surprised if you met again. Gizmo wants to help if he can. Says you should take it easy. Bring on the night. It's not slippery. Let's see. Stomping time. Crack-a-doo. Super effective. Bang Shelter 7C should have been stated right there in toxanol lettering. I don't think you could make a home here. Nothing, really. Days wasting. Get to work while you can. Gotta protect that noggin. Ready to ride. Leave that scrap behind. Pull. Time to walk on your own legs. What's your choice? Dying? Not getting escaping the rain if you've got to be out. You found Bionucleus 8C. These towers are one of the main reasons the old world went under. Let's see. That hurt 'em. You can make something from that. This area is biocontaminated. It's really hazardous. Buffer than ever. Feel that? It's a lack of air. Bangarang. Hot metal. That's a jumbo puff with an appetite. Ain't no fuzz. Better put an end to it before it ends our world. The Jumbo Puff is kicking it up a notch. It's time for an electric performance. A couple of more hits and it's a fried circuit board. Bad feeling about this. It goes all the way down to the stomach. Start like a snack, and you'll end up with a ride down the intestinal canal. That's too close to the end station. Better move up and away, or be swept out the bowel way. Wow, what a super-sized wormwin. That must be as big as they come. You see, it's what's on the inside that counts. That meaty Taurus is already offbeat. End it. Better pumped out than flushed down. Don't let it happen again. The Taurus is pumping at half a beat. You know what to do. Guessed it would go down with a throw-up. Can it really get any better than that? He thanks you for dealing with the first World Eater. It's a start. You should go see Out of Date and find out what you can about the machine he's named the Ark. You're good-hearted enough, so you'll have no problem getting him to share the information with you. He trusts you know where to find Out of Date by now. He's always been at the foot of the tree, and that hasn't changed. Ooh, a biohazard like that can make you real sick. shot. Kaboom! The sound of leaves can be calming. There's a serenity about this spot. It's a place for rest. That's an intact plant hut over there. Wonder what's growing in it. You're empty of key. Running low. Bullseye. Wow, wow, wow. Boom, boom. That's a mind monitor from the days gone. A device that blip screened smart matter. Wouldn't be surprised if it still works. Looks like the inputters need to be linked to get the mind monitor to boot up. It's mind over matter, software over hardware. Success is peace of mind. Time to get a move on before all your chances slip on by. Looks like some solid wood scrap there. Says there's an interesting place nearby that no one knows about, but doesn't really want to talk about it right now. Says it's about time you figured out you can't avoid helping anymore. Understands you have other places you need. Go on, catch it. It smells like a tater. Grab tight and don't let go. Gizmo will always make time for you. Has plenty to do. Nothing can slow you down. You can never have too much scrap, plastic or otherwise. Not going to happen with your key energy level. You're hurt bad. If a story is about you, care for it. Spot that fixer-upper? Got to be something worthwhile in it. Back before the world was ending, they say they had hopes. Harder to come by now. Maybe a working ray lighter would brighten things up a bit. Depends on how you use it, though. Figures it would be easy if it was on, but you'll have to find it first. Figures the ray lighter is too dangerous to leave lying around. You should grab it before someone else does. Otherwise, they might wind up on the ray lighter's wrong end. Says they'd love to see that happen. We're all heroes of our own stories, or so we hope. Without your help, the hoof puff is sure to take out a root of the tree of life. Didn't have much else to say, so no problem. Wood scrap. The one kind of scrap you could actually still find growing. Handy. Sometimes your mind creates an illusion where it's possible to go back in time to relive a moment in your life. We all have things in our past we wish hadn't happened, and can come to remember seeing and doing things that never happened. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. Choose the automaton functionality you want to recall. You weren't supposed to know how to start the automaton pew-pew pang, but clearly you figured that out way back then. The tribes need someone to unite them. Hey, there's some rubber scrap over there, just right for the taking. This is called suburbia, a place to get away from the city stink. Finding things both here and there. That board is filled with all sorts of hopes and fears of those who didn't like the city or nature and got trapped in between. You're getting close to what they used to call suburbia now. Not quite a city, and nothing like nature. When the cities became too polluted, some moved here. Eventually, they ran out of places to escape. Back then, it was easier to move away from the messes you made than try to do anything to clean them. You'll find some traces of travels, even out here in the sticks. Molecule. got more than a flesh wound. You're fresh out of key energy. You've had better days. Made the kill. Cutting edge. Never know what's hiding out in the dark. Not every day. Seems like the controls need some organizing to set the mechanism in motion. Excellent. That's illuminating.
Cofintra Bidwitchen. Cofintra Bidwitchen. Cofintra Bidwitchen. Cofintra Bidwitchen. Cofintra Bidwitchen.
A stylish cover for your brains. Let's build something. A reaper? You feel like you've figured it out. The yerp fields, where the echo of your actions resounds clearer than any other place you'll find, except for where that's not true. That's an aurora totem. Legend has it that activating the four of them together will form a band of your aura in the sky. Yippee-ki-yay! Microwaved. Right in the face. There it is, the tree of life. The idea that all life is related by common descent, where the twigs are existing species and those produced in the past represent the succession of the extinct. The tree's great branches were once budding twigs, a connection between the past, present, and future. A representation of all extinct and living species with its ever-branching and beautiful ramifications. We are an evolution of those that came before. Don't let it wander. Point it. Old brick-bracks like that sometimes go on, catch it. Wonders how bad it must be out there for you to be skulking about this late. Understands you had... That's super-duper dope. Dead on. Rad! No hope of that with as little energy as you have. That's going to leave a mark. All fired up. Starting to add up. Close encounter. What a blow! Feeling fierce. This one seems to be in good spirits, despite being left here for dead. Has heard that you have a sense of compassion and trusts it's in your nature to help those in need. Asks you to do the right thing for the sake of your conscience. It's only through your inner conflict you're held accountable. Is grateful you chose that. You can't be good without doing good for others.
Light instantly banishes dark.
How much light do you really need?
All the light, all of it!
I mean, you could leave a little space for the dark.
All the light.
Darkness makes you miss the light. Got her hurt. Almost there. That will teach him. Reflexed. That was the first Aurora totem. 3 to go. The light's coming back. There's a serenity about this spot. It's a place for rest and recovery. When... Sometimes what you'll see doesn't feel real until it brings you back to that particular moment, like stepping into a time machine. It's hard to shake these memories and their accompanying feelings. Our brains play tricks on us, so it will take effort to avoid them. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. So, you remembered the automaton's power-up feature. That's a boost. Nice. Some barked wood scrap for you. It's time to do what's right. For certain values of right. Let's see. It's a place well hidden. It's just below the above.
Lotulu Bio.
Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds.
Ewe Boboye.
You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility.
Lotulu Bio.
He can sense that your heart beats steadily and acknowledges that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Koyetu Koweboy.
Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. Someone without knowledge of their history and origin is like a tree without roots.
Koyetu Koweboy.
He promises he'll be there for you. Just come talk to him beneath the tree if you're feeling lost.
Ba lo yualo.
Out of Date says there's a time for everything. And now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone.
E bubuko von vunvun.
Think of the present because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things.
To Hawaii.
If you continue to do good, good will follow you.
Yamolovo.
If the world really does end, there won't be anywhere to run. So he's prepared for the worst, something he calls the Ark.
Honto konto epon yevun goja.
Two sides to everything, but for him it would be devastating if you were forced to use the Ark to escape while the world crumbled.
Yevovo lon awful.
Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees.
Kim hobe bekoko hifad muk.
He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core.
Balu lutulua.
The contamination disrupted what we now know as key energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate.
Yatu yao mawa.
He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head.
The water.
It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real.
Fabobe muk kofar.
He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground.
Mauketo tul atu yamanao.
The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out.
Mauketo tul atu yamanao.
The Ark has room for 4 more, and he trusts you'll apply wisdom to your compassion and choose whom to save if the world comes to end.
Setuata Bob Kila.
He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark in the event of a cataclysm.
Tolowoya lo yalobatoloyo.
Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy.
Toluaba volua.
He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Goop in the southeast.
Toluaba volua.
Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Goop.
Yowotulua.
He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Goop and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That's the sound of impending doom. Out of Date's premonitions of imminent disaster are true. The Porkypuff needs to be handled.
Ya yumawa.
Out of Date says that Goop is worried now that the Southeast World Eater is stepping up its activity.
Ayamuraya.
He explains that Goop is working on a goo-gliding vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done.
Honto kontue ponjevun koja.
Out of Date suggests that you should head southeast as fast as possible and see what you can do to help.
Iboda kilmok.
He wonders what's on your mind.
Iboda kilmok.
Wishes you goodbye. Take a good look around you. Let's see. If the mount didn't throw you, you're good. There's some bouncy rubber scrap over there. sharp steel. Better than nothing. The mount's ears are not handles. The vendor says you can browse his goods any time during opening hours. Says there's usually a line, but today's your lucky day. You cleared. Ching. Chop, chop. Half-lifed. Much better. No way to avoid the wet. Look at those muscles. There's a serenity about. Erfidurf outpost. The Jagni tribe claimed this forever. Let's see. There's the tyrant who runs this outpost. He didn't expect his tribe to lose, as they're the ones that are ruthless. But now that you're working with their rival, he can see why. To fight for what you stand for isn't a fight he'll give up. It's a fight to the end. It's their last line of defense. Once their guardian falls, they'll surrender. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. You make that work. He says you did a great job capturing the rival's second outpost. You've earned the privilege of wearing the tribe's colors. Believes you'll make them all proud, too. brings new chances. Let's see. This box once tailed a chugga-chugga. Now it's just off track. This corner of the world is called Bricktown. Couldn't stand another hour of daylight. Irradiated. Good hit. day is a new chance to fulfill your destiny. Put a key in that. Have you been up all night? It's Peekaboo Park. Young ones love this sort of place. Pang pang! This one seems to be in good spirits, despite being left here for dead. Has heard that you have a sense of compassion and trusts it's in your nature. Asks you to do the right thing for the sake of your conscience. Is grateful you chose that.
The light shines on.
Yes, break it in half. Crack that light.
It's just a break, a short pause.
A break, as in broken.
This can be fixed.
That's a Myriad tribe outpost. Wham! Ouch!
Nuso Panseo,
Says you seem all right and wishes there was something they could do for you. There's no way to reason with hurricane season. That there's Subnautica Station. Goop flounders around in there. Let's see. Says it's good to see you again. He's Goop. You might remember him from the old days when he tried to teach you how to swim. Goop says you were always so righteous as a child, and he can still feel it, even at a distance. Goop says memories fade surprisingly fast. We are all pieces of what we remember. It's only together we can remember the story as it was. He knows he's easy to remember. There's no one out there as cuckoo as him. He's one of a kind. He understands you've returned to face Lupa Lupin. That's the destiny you've been carrying within yourself all these years. He says that the catastrophe back then didn't vanquish the good in you. It's still there, as bright as when you were a child. Now the time has come for you to remember and act. Your life is your life, not the story you're told about it. He thinks that's the right thing to do. It's only when you have forgiven that you'll find peace.
Come toward the light.
Slow down. Why would you rush in?
When you see what you want, why wait?
Well, what about being careful?
Poppycock! Full speed ahead!
Can hardly believe the world is going to make it. Wonders what that's going to do to the goo. Thanks you for doing everything you could to de-goop the surf. Thinks the Myriad made a good match with you. You're both like sunshine on the surf. But hey, back to the goo. Knows yesterday is already gone. It's what you do today and tomorrow that'll move you forward. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. He can't leave the Subnautica Station, as the pollution has worn down the insulation of his suit. So you must salvage enough scrap to fix up his goo glide, starting with the old wreck box outside. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the goo glide strong enough to fight the Porky Puff. Out of Date told him the undersurf was the epicenter of the contamination. This was where it struck hardest and inflicted the biggest change to the ecosystem. Control your destiny, or someone else will. Chop it up. Take your time and enjoy the daylight. Slash. You're harmed. Personal. Slash and dash. Toxanol's offshore drilling caused oily matter to spread with the rain and contaminate both the groundwater and open surf. The long-lasting effect this had on the evolution of wildlife was, as we know now, the only reason we came to exist. You have a chance to change. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Surprised that worked. He's got the goo glide functional. You'll have a pull hook and a salvage net, but no armor, and an engine strong enough to break through the thick goo further out. There's debris floating around on the surf that might be blocking your path or needs to be towed. That means you'll need a device so you can get it out of your way. Goop says Gizmo's devised a cannon for the goo glide, but instead of bullets, it flips quacks, squeaky distractions for the triple attentive Porky Puff, which will give you time to get yourself in position. The best way to find quacks is to talk to Gulp. He has the bearings of the surf archipelago and knows where the quacks like to float. This means you'll have the privilege of visiting Gulp in the Sinky Dink. He'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find quacks. He only knows what's visible to the naked eye. Gulp is not much of a babbler and mostly keeps to himself and his drink. Feeling buff. Might have to find a towel after this. Welcome to the surf archipelago, where the horizon rests on the surfy goo. You're poking around Pockbur, a prime village. Nailed it. Let's see. Says the tribe Sifu sent them here to help defend against the rival tribe that's been terrorizing their village. Isn't sure how long the village will last if it continues. As if the plague ruining the land and destroying the crops wasn't enough to bring the village to its knees already. Heard that even simple things like puddle pops, surf salad, muffin grass and wild pips have become nearly impossible to grow. The Sifu asked you to help, and that's what you must do. Says they heard good things about you. Sparkles about how brilliant it is to have someone like you that shares both genetics and karma in the myriad spectrum. Says you should take care. The Sifu asked you to help, and that's what you must do. They need your protection and help. The Sifu asked you to help, and that understands you have. New day, new start. Need to stock up on scrap first. Peace from the end of a gun. Wood scrap's great for building things. Wonders how something as eternal as the Tree of Life could ever die. Says in the past times most would kill time watching moving. Claims to have seen a working eye box somewhere around here. Says it's a box that shows move. Believes the eye box only works if you fix it first. You gotta mess with the dials to get the eye box kicking again. Otherwise, the eye box will just sit there, quiet and blind. Says they'd love to see more of it. Peddler is eager for you to have a look at. Says you're in good company. Everyone. Deepened your pockets. Came out on top. The world is getting colourful again. Clamber right up.
You don't have to know Bokita. That's all, Monaha.
Says you. You enjoyed that. Better get a move on if you want to change things. It's a rare sight. Treasure it. Wildlife here is teetering on the brink of extinction. We all are. The meat-eater again. Nothing seems to satiate his hunger. The gnat is done for unless you intervene. That's a good find. Glad to see some wood scrap there. This is a quarrel spot. So many wars have been fought over this patch of dirt. What a waste.
Squish it!
This is an epic already. How it ends is up to you. Ah, that wood scrap seems like it would be perfect for your plans. So many places to be today. Has no doubt you've earned the trust and support of this village. Is always willing to listen. You did good here. Glad to see you out and moving about in the daylight. Shine's happy that the Myriad can count on a friend as... Says goodbye to you. Is always willing to listen. You did good here. Look and see what you might need. This here is the Sinky Dink, home of Gulp, at the very least.
Yeah.
Let's see. Something could be under any rock.